Oh, f***ing hell.
Yeah, we've completely ruined our best bike park. So this was old.
Oh,
Give the people what they want.
Yeah.
blimey. Oh,
That's more like it, isn't it? That is big. The thing that probably gives me the heebie-jeebies the most.
that's a long way.
Right guys, I'm on the hill looking for Harry and Dunc because they're going to explain to me why on earth we've changed our most popular trail at the bike park, A470, and they're working on Hard Shoulder right now. You'll have seen everything that's gone on with A470. I want to give you a full picture on like everything that's happened in the back end and tell you all the juicy details about how we've done everything. Cool, let's go. We found some very, very big piles of dirt. So Dunc, the thing I was saying to the camera was that we've changed our most popular trail at the bike park.
Yeah, we've completely ruined our best bike park.
Do you reckon you could just give me a little bit of context of why we changed it in the first place?
Original A4 was built to be a pretty progressive jump line.
Yeah.
As the park's evolving, the plan was to put more jump lines in, and those jump lines are going to fill those progression gaps. We're going to have more lines of jumps that progress, rather than having a line of jumps that progress.
Yeah.
So obviously, because A4 progressed so much down the line,
Big time.
that now we're building these other trails, we want to make A4 maybe it doesn't progress so much down the line. It all is in keeping with some of the jumps further at the top, and then we're going to build other jump lines to fill the gaps.
Lines.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
nice
we're
one.
kind of stood on one of them now, and we've got another one over there, and Harry's working on a bit more up there, so it's all go.
So it's a bit complicated because obviously we had a jump line here, and then we're also stood on kind of what was an old jump line.
Yeah.
Changed the end. We've done a completely new end of A470.
Yep.
And then we're revamping Hard Shoulder. And so because that is complicated, can you walk me through like how this sort of comes about?
Take bits from everywhere really.
Yeah.
What feedback from customers, we take it from marketing, from our experiences going riding other places. You know, what are we missing in the bike park? What would we want more of? Find places for them all to fit. I mean,
this idea comes in, and then I've seen the footage. You four sit down with maps.
And we sit down, we discuss that, and then we work out where it would go on the hill, or where's the best place for it. We've obviously got lines, got planning permission for, and then it's kind of working out what would fit better. Like this generally is turning into our area of where we have more of the jump lines. And so trying to fit everything in this kind of area works better.
And so you sit down with a map and you go, okay, we can move this around, and then you discuss what kind of jumps and how many you might be able to fit on there, and you get a sort of rough agreement of the idea of it, and then you come out on the hill.
Yeah, so we obviously you can only do so much around a table, and then you have to come out and actually look around and go, is that actually possible? What are we actually going to get in here? You know, you look on a map and you might go, oh, we could put a line down there, and you go there and you're like, oh, actually, if we put a line down here, we put 2 jumps on it. It's not as big as it looks on the map.
And the gradient as well. You might be like,
exactly. We have a rough idea of where the gradient's like on all over the hill, but when we walk the line, we're like, actually, you can't fit a big jump line here, or this is too steep for a small jump line.
Things like things like the dirt as well, or do you like you've got a pretty good idea of what you're working with, or you just work with whatever you got?
Well, you've got what you've got here. The next step would be cutting the vegetation back on that line, opening it up.
What are we doing here today, boys?
Do you want me to intro it like a
go
professional?
On. Hey there, guys.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Like and subscribe. This is A470.
What will be A470?
Probably just watched a clip of us walking in the snow, marking it out. Now we're cutting all the trees, cutting the corridor out. Got to do this before end of Feb, but that's ground nesting bird season. So we're getting it cut now, and then work on starting it in maybe another month's time.
This is what we've done so far.
Happy with your work?
Yeah, no, not really.
And then you're on to, you know, big machines and the exciting part of digging up the ground and building a big old road. Now this is an exciting day. Machines have arrived and we're about to start the most exciting part of this. We're about to get started, so see what happens. We're making pretty good progress. It's amazing what you can do with 2 massive machines. Obviously when we cut all the trees, we've now pushed them to the side, created this sort of access, I suppose. Gives us a good idea of what the gradient of the trail is going to look like, really. Plan now is going to start stripping off this black vegetation layer, building more of a road. So getting down to the good dirt, and then it'll be getting some material and building up where we want these features put. But we'll come back to that. Where are we at? As you can see, we've built this road, metre thick. Dig into this road, and this is where we're going to move the dirt around, build the jumps. And I'm going to start up there. I've roughed in a bit of a step down just up there, This is the first feature here. Step down here, I'll just show you my kind of process really. And I use some line marking paint, just put a little line on the ground, paste it out, and that's where I'll shape to. Generally represent where the takeoff and where the landing are going to go. Use my judgment, work out if they need to be a bit longer or a bit shorter. And then somewhere there, I'll put the landing. I'll put a time lapse up, see how we get on. Good morning. As you can see, piled up loads of dirt. Pretty much this line roughed out now. Show you back over there. So around the corner we've got, off of the old A470 line, we've got 2 step downs. We've got a table there. We're going to have like a rollery feature here with maybe a jump hip on the edge of it. We've got a table here, table, and then there's a big roller, and then another table, and then there's going to be some rollers to finish on the way out. Yeah, so it's all roughed out. We've put our drainage in. We've got a few pipes in down there. We're kind of at the stage now where we need to kind of give it a little test. Obviously you can see with the dirt, like we are far from shaped, we are far from finished. I mean, this is the takeoff. I've got my little 4-cross play bike, my little Fuel EX, just to make sure we've got the speed down this section. We don't want to start finishing these jumps and putting shape into them when you haven't actually got the speed, because this bit of trail does actually flatten out a little bit down here. There's still a bit of gradient, but double check we've actually got the sizes of the jumps right. Then we can start sort of finishing it, putting the final shape in. Exciting really, we're not far off. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Obviously this bike rolls pretty fast. Give it a go. We're trying to keep this open as long as we can before we switch over to this line. So this is why it looks like this for the moment. I'm going to give it a test now. I think that'll be pretty good. It's a bit of tweaking. The speed does run out a little bit towards the end, but the jumps kind of compensate for that. So yeah, amazing.
So we got to come up with a plan for this split line now. Enter the Dragon and new hard shoulder.
So a bit of a tour of what's going on Into the Dragon. Ricky's going to be coming here very shortly in the 3-ton digger and giving all of this a bit of a tart up. We just want to sort of take it back to its original width and put a few angles sort of back on things. Oh, that's so good. Where over the years they've just sort of lost the shape a bit, and then that straight that we've cut into the hill is the new hard shoulder, and there's going to be a load of jumps along there. We're having to sort of move things around in here a little bit to be able to make a good split. It's probably going to be quite a lot of material to move. It's really important we know how much speed we've got off of this jump before we start building everything else, because this kind of defines that is the job at the moment. And yeah, there's going to be a load of jumps along here. That's it. Got hard shoulder splitting off here. We got our first jump, like a rough draft of it in. We just kind of bulked it out yesterday and compacted it so we could give it a test, check the speed worked. Luckily we seemed to get it right the first time, which there'll be some footage of somewhere. So now that I know that works, start kind of like tidying and finalizing the area a bit, because with this big machine that we've got here, you can move a lot of material, but you can't really put the finishing touches on it like you can with our smaller ones. So I kind of prepare at least this section for that. I'm going to widen this so that we can have a ditch running on the inside here to catch any water, which will go into a pipe as well. So yeah, probably move quite a bit of material around today. I can start looking at the next one, which is kind of where that mound is there to the left of the digger.
I'll be able to paddle into it, I think, but it'd be nice to do it trail speed.
On the right, on the landscaping where no one should ever go, there is a bucket, so just don't go over there, please.
Yeah, I'll just go for middle line.
Yeah.
A true trail test.
No.
But yeah, the jump felt really nice. I think I slightly tagged the first one then because I was deliberately being
a bit cautious.
So this is like week 2. So you got this first jump, which is I think about 9 meters. This bowl here has been pretty much finalized really. I've maybe got a little bit of tidying up to do in here, but it's pretty close. We've compacted all of this, so this jump's been tested. Works mint, really chill. Oh, hell. Yesterday I tested this jump here as well, which is really fun, and it's like a nice mixture between like a long and low and like a jump that actually sends you up. So I'll just show you one thing we've been trying out. Because the dirt up here in areas is quite rocky, we've been trying out one of these Riddler buckets, which basically just has these bars in there, so any rock that's too big to fit through those bars will stay trapped in the bucket, and then any dirt you kind of shake out of it. So it's a good way of separating good material for like a final riding surface from material you'd rather bulk a jump out with. Yeah, second jump here, bit of a hip. I'm going to maybe bank this landing a little bit so that this side is a bit higher than that side, just to make it obvious you are hipping to the right. This bowl is just rough at the moment. I just got it in a state where it was like safe for me to land into to test it. What I'm going to do is tidy up this landscape in here as good as I can with a big digger. Move all this material here into the pocket that you can land into. I'm going to get started. Hopefully it won't be long and we can test the third jump. I'll make sure I get video of that. This one was a bit of a weird feeling. I can't see where I landed, but I kind of like myself off it then, and I don't know if I even braked in there then.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
I'll go again. That's a tough one. It's like
A bit slow, but you got quite far.
Yeah.
Like I'd say that was just like normal trail speed.
Yeah, not like.
No, yeah, no. It might still be too, like it doesn't look like it should be, but like I think I could make that if I just, you know, really try, but
Yeah. Making the landing mellower and just taking this knuckle down.
if I was gonna chase this back, I'd keep the steepness the whole way.
Yeah.
Because of how long this is, you're still going to end up reasonably high, and I think if it's any less steep than that, it's going to be quite like a impact when you land.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because the lip is a certain steepness.
yeah, and just because of how far you travel.
Yeah.
I mean, we could adjust the landing, but like that bowl is so deep that by the time you get up on top of this, you've already gone up a massive lip, like, you know, in height. I don't know whether there's any point in cutting height off this. Yeah, you won't. Yeah, you know, you're not spending as much time going up, but you're also taking off from a lower height. You know, What do you think your options are? Like in your head, what do you think? I say either cut the lip back in here like another 2 foot, or adjust the landing. But that's definitely gonna be more work because it's so big. So we've just done some more testing on the 4th jump, which I've just really roughly made a lip for the right sort of angles that I wanted. Currently the jump is still not quite makeable. I've just had like 3 attempts at it. Like making the 3rd above it, absolutely fine. Coming in with what feels like loads of speed, but not quite getting over it. So I think the plan is going to be to cut this landing in to make it more defined, because it's a little bit mellow and yeah, I don't know, it's just not quite feeling how I want.
Blimey. Oh, that's more like it, isn't it?
Well, yeah, this is where it steps up a little bit.
That is big. That's a pretty sizable step up.
What, 8 foot high takeoff, and This is weird. I do takeoffs. I take off height in feet, and I do jump length in meters.
Okay.
Just for it to confuse everybody.
Well, you're truly like from the UK. We do both.
That's it, you know.
This feature is the thing that probably gives me the heebie-jeebies the most. Is this going to be a shark fin?
Yes.
That's a long way.
Whoa. So I'm alright.
This is really far. I don't. So you're going to be.
Wide angle isn't wide enough.
No. But you had this great idea. I don't know if it was yourself, but like the crusher bucket.
Yeah, we did do a bit of filming on it.
Okay.
It's an attachment for those massive buckets.
Yeah.
A massive bucket, big jaws.
Okay.
Just crushes
all of these, like all the big material that we want
Yeah.
to make into just dirt.
Generally, we want to turn. Well, we want to turn that into loads of those.
Okay.
And it didn't work that well. Unfortunately, if anybody at home's got any ideas for doing that,
Comments.
please, yeah.
Let's go find Harry. I got a sneaking suspicion. Well, suspicion. I know categorically he hates the idea of me filming him. So, hey Harry. I've been admiring your work, mate.
Thank you.
You've been absolutely smashing it.
Cheers, Rob. Thank you.
That shark fin looks scary.
Yeah, it's too big at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to keep bringing it in.
Yeah, just as we built it up, as you build something up, it often, you know, moves because you're having a certain angle
Yeah.
on the dirt. So as we were building it up, it crept back.
Okay.
Um,
So like it falls and it's got its
yeah,
like angle.
yeah, just like the way the jumps have like an angle on the side of them. As you build something like that up, it's crept away.
Okay.
So it's kind of just, it's got bigger
You're like,
than I...
you finished and you're like, oh, that's
Yeah,
quite big,
it got
actually.
bigger than I intended it to, really. So I'll go back and adjust that.
So I've seen footage of you at the very top,
Yeah,
and you've built like the first few jumps.
yeah, first 5 jumps.
First 5
built,
jumps.
Yeah,
And so because these are really quite sizable,
yeah.
how are you having to approach the way you're like working your way through the line?
I'd say that the best way to do it, if time and the project allows, go through with a machine like this and bulk everything out.
Yeah.
Get everything like roughly where you think it should be. Use, you know, the knowledge you've got or whatever to put things where you think they should be. Once you've done that, if you can, then take a smaller machine like the one we got around the corner
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Work your way down each jump.
Okay.
What I like to do is shape a takeoff
Okay.
and compact it with the whacker plate, and then I'll roughly shape the landing
Just
with,
so
the,
it's
just with
safe,
the digger, just so
yeah.
I can land into it, jump that, and then I'm able to make a decision whether I need to adjust something before I've done any work like making the landing a finished product.
Okay.
So I'll test that. If that works, then compact the landing and move on to the next jump.
Gotcha.
So that's
And then
the-
also once you've compacted the landing and you can sort of get a feel as you approach for the next one how fast you're going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like best case scenario, like if you're building something like this in the winter,
Yeah.
that might not be possible, you know.
Yeah.
You might just have to do it as good as you can, like, and you might not be able to ride it.
How far are you through?
63%.
63%.
No, I mean, all the bulk for the jumps is done,
Okay.
pretty much. Anyway,
Yeah.
I've got a little bit more to do on the corners up here. So it'll probably be in the next few days. I'll get in the smaller digger and start working my way down the line.
Yeah.
But this is where the dry weather will pose an issue because it's too
Loose.
loose and dry to properly compact stuff.
Yeah.
But it's probably good enough that I'll be able to get enough of an idea to keep moving.
Yeah.
But it's not just how I'd like it, you know?
Yeah, of course. I've heard rumblings of a trick step up that you're also sneakily just building in here as well.
Yes.
Is it?
There's maybe more than one. We might be stood on it right now.
So this is
But
it. This is the trick.
This is actually it. So this was old, a sessionable one jump.
That is what give the people what they want.
Yeah. Well, everybody wants this.
Yeah.
You take off. It steps up. Maybe very difficult to see, but
I'll come. Hang on. Let me.
right. Yeah. It's big.
That's a sick. That's exactly what we
What's that,
want.
Like 7. Probably by the time we finish, a 7-foot takeoff.
Yeah.
Looking pretty incredible.
Have you had a test yet?
I've been coming up with all the excuses not
Okay.
to. I'll wait for Harry to be comfortable and then follow him through and then tell him I've done some testing. Yeah.
Does it get a bit like that sometimes when it gets to the big jumps? That because
Yeah.
I feel like we've given you a hard time on Trail Diaries because obviously we had you at not a race
Yeah.
when you were trying to keep up with like literal world champions
Yeah, that wasn't good for the
for the old ego.
the ego, yeah,
but
got
like
crushed then. It's
Dunc
good.
is a phenomenal bike rider. I won't show his face because he'll blush, but you know,
Oh, stop.
someone that can do massive style and big jumps having to test the new jump, like black jumps, is that like actually quite a daunting thing?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it becomes, for me, it's more daunting when I haven't built it. And mainly because I've probably spent hours and hours just looking at it.
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas
and you
the
know
other
how
ones I
hard it
haven't
is, the dirt, yeah.
The other ones I haven't really looked at, so maybe I should just go and stand up on those jumps up there
And just stare
look
at them for a
for
bit.
an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, fine to test, so yeah, that's it.
Do like a job on the park to go to after this?
5 jobs to go
Five,
to.
oh wow. See, this is the problem. We're trying to like film it all, tell you guys the story. They're doing too much. I shouldn't say too
We
much.
can't even keep up either.
We don't know what you've been doing.
I can't even keep up, so we're going to build another step up feature at
Sick.
the top of the hill. We are going to make the main start ramp bigger.
Sick.
We are going to revamp Vanta.